Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you 5 new releases, and a few of them are very hyped up. So I can't wait to share my thoughts with you on these. But before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the weird, wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community. And to all of you that watch and enjoy and comment, and I can't even tell you how encouraging you guys are as a community. I feel so thankful and blessed. So thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for enjoying. I'm really glad you enjoy the videos, and let's get into this. So the first fragrance that I want to talk about today is Pistachio Haiku. Now this has just been released, and as soon as I saw that EPC had a new fragrance, I really wanted to get it. The brief sounded so cool. So this is on the website, and it says, this new edition blend is an ode to summer, working around the scent of pistachio in all its facets, the crisp earthiness of fig and pistachio leaves, the nutty richness of pistachios and roasted hazelnut, and this nostalgic sweetness of summer ice cream. And then later they say, an ode to summer, sun-kissed pistachios, crackling shells in the summer heat, nature's nutty treat. That's kind of the feel that they were going for. They categorize this as a gourmand green. The top notes are fig leaf and pistachio leaf. Mid is pistachio and hazelnut. And base is cedarwood, vetiver, and benzoin. Now, the way that EPC does their fragrances is they mix some of their blends together to get this. So this is a mixture of 4 parts fig neroli and 4 parts sesame tonka. If you've got the discovery kits, you can actually blend this together to know what this is going to smell like. I definitely prefer this over tonka sesame. So what I get when I first put it on, so I've worn it on skin about 4 times. I definitely get neroli. So I get the greenness of the neroli. I've always found neroli to be quite sharp, but I don't find this too sharp. So definitely there's that sharp brightness. To me, neroli almost has a citrus feel to it. So I get that neroli, and then I also get some fig leaf. Like I get the greenness. So I get this burst of green coming through. And then as it dries down, I get a lot of warmth from the tonka sesame that's in here. So I'm getting the tonka, I'm getting sesame, a little bit of nuttiness basically. But as it dries down, that's where I think this fragrance really shines. It gets a little bit spicier, a little bit sweeter, and I just find it way more interesting than just straight up tonka sesame. What it feels like to me is that you're outside, like the whole idea of the brief being from beginning to end pistachios. When the first burst of this fragrance to me smells like, you'd be picking pistachios outside. You get the greenness of the earth, and then kind of a crispness that's in the fragrance. I definitely get some warmth in there from that tonka, but where the magic happens for me is in the dry down, where it gets a little bit more spicy, a little bit sweeter. I can see a lot of people really enjoying this. I would not consider this a major gourmand. So if you're looking for something sweet, sugary, this isn't that. But when you think about nuts in their elemental form, they're not really necessarily sweet. So there is a bit of sweetness to this, but it's a very relaxed. So it's like a natural sweet from a pistachio. So what I find with this one is that if you're looking for a fragrance that isn't overly sweet, but you want a little bit of warmth, it'd be kind of like a cozy fragrance for summer. I'm glad I have it. I've got to sit with it a little bit more. It's just the tonka sesame aspect of this fragrance that I can smell definitely is making it a little more difficult for me to work with, because I just always struggle with tonka. So that's my fault for not reading, because I asked for this. But if you love tonka and you want to try something that's a little bit different, I think this is a really neat fragrance. Now, Smell Like a King is a fragrance that they sent me. They just figured I would like it, and they were 100% right. This one I love. So Smell Like a King is a mixture of their 2 essential fragrances, cardamom moss and cedarwood absinthe. The brief for this one is a rich, leathery fragrance, unashamedly powerful and sultry. Step into a gentleman's club filled with scents of cigar, whiskey, absinthe, and old Chesterfields. Now, If this is for a man, I'm a man, baby. Like, this is so freaking good. What I love about this is it has a similar vibe to Sable Gris, but a little bit more brightness. So for me, this is like the Sable Gris for the summertime. Like, seriously, I'm in love with this. I love it from beginning to the end. It just smells so good, but I don't feel like it's it's overpowering in the sense that I would find it too sickening in the summer. Now you got to remember, I looked up Melbourne, Australia, just a couple days ago, and they're in their winter, and it was 20 there. It's not even 20 here, and we're almost in summer. So Canada, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada is not the warmest place in the world. So when I say I could wear this in the summer, our summer is some people's winter. So definitely doesn't get super hot. If you had super hot climates, this would be a little bit much for you. But this is marketed towards men, but I am in love with it and would wear it at a drop of a hat. I don't find it too masculine. I find it unisex for sure, but I love that cardamom moss that's in here. So the main notes of this fragrance are wormwood, cypriol oil, Atlas cedar, Virginia cedar, patchouli, tobacco, spicy notes, and herbal notes. This is warm, it's spicy, it's sexy, it has a bit of a tobacco feel, but I don't feel like it's so heavy that I couldn't wear it in spring and summer evenings. This will be my sexy fragrance. Like, seriously, I'm in love with this. I would love to smell this on a man, but I would love to smell this on me, man. It's fantastic. So I'm absolutely in love with Smell Like a King. I'm serious. I guess I want to smell like a king because I'm all over this. So I don't care that it's marketed towards men. It's phenomenal. But if you are a guy and you watch this channel and you want like a sexy fragrance that's gonna smell super rich and luxurious, but not too thick and cloying, this is it, man. Now, I think this is considered a limited edition, so definitely, if you're interested, you should check it out soon. Now, the next collection I have for you is from Theodorus Calatinus, and it is creme brulee, pear gelato, and cherry powder. So again, these were sent to me. I asked for them, so yeah, I was so excited to try these. I've been really loving the Theodorus Calatinus fragrances. EPC and Theodorus Calatinus are probably my favorite perfume houses right now. So the first one I want to talk about is Pear Gelato. Now, I saw on Instagram his little posts, and they were just so stellar. All of the posts were fantastic. And he's really been knocking it out of the park with those sweeter gourmand fragrances. So these were such a hit that he ran out of stock. I'm not sure if they're in stock yet again, but they will be, and they're a hit for a good reason. Pear Gelato has pear, milk, vanilla, waffle cone, and sugar. What I think is so cool about this fragrance is that the pear smells quite fresh. So it smells very realistic, but yeah, a very fresh, bright, young pear is what I get. Not necessarily green, but definitely fresh, crisp pear, mixed with this sugary milkiness and a little bit of spices. Spices aren't noted there, but I get kind of a spiciness that comes out in this. So I imagine kind of crisp, fresh pear somehow, just cooked down, not a whole lot of sugar, mixed in with this milky, creamy, slightly like a little hit of cinnamon gelato. So I just think this is delicious. I never would have thought of pear and gelato together, but it's very delicious. If you love pear and you love sweet, ice creamy, lactonic fragrances, you need to try this. It lasts forever on the skin, so I'm really impressed with the longevity. Actually, all the fragrances have really good longevity. So the EPC fragrances, really excellent longevity. This one, I get at least 8 hours out of it. So decent, not like, I know Lemon Tart, the longevity on that one was not the greatest. The majority of his fragrances, I think, have excellent longevity. So I really, really enjoy this. It's warm, it's creamy, it's sweet. It's a little bit almost green on that opening, so it keeps it from getting cloying. I think it's a really neat balance, and I love it. I love it. Like, seriously, so good. Now, the next fragrance is cherry powder, and it has powdery notes, cherry, macaron, and milk. Now, these days, I always hated powdery fragrances, but lately I've been having a real love for violet and iris, and so the powderiness I'm really starting to embrace and enjoy. Now, the cherry in this fragrance, and I've worn all of these, like I said, all of them on my skin, but I only have a small sample. So this one, the cherry is not a boozy cherry, so it's more straight up like cherry, almost like a cherry syrup, mixed with some powderiness and some milkiness. So I find it sweet as it dries down on the skin. It gets a little bit warmer, a little bit more powdery and milky, but it stays fairly linear, and it stays like that cherry syrup feel stays along with the powder. So you basically get powder and cherry. And by powder, I mean a little bit of powder and a little bit of lactonic aspects to this. So it's pretty linear. I actually really enjoy it. It's probably my least favorite out of the three, but it's still really good. And if I had like a full bottle, I would definitely use it for sure. It's not like a Tom Ford Lost Cherry though, no booziness. It's a brighter cherry. It's got enough depth though that it doesn't feel totally like, you know, like just a top note. There's a little bit of richness in the cherry. And yeah, I would liken it to a bright cherry syrup, if that makes sense. Like when I smell this, I don't think dark red cherry, I think bright red cherry, but still very sweet and luscious. So I like this one. The powder is definitely there and it's more linear, whereas PEAR Gelato, it has a little bit of different nuances throughout the wear of the fragrance. So I find it more interesting than this one, but this is still good. If you love cherry and you love kind of powdery, lactonic fragrances, this one's definitely worth checking out. And the last fragrance from Theodorus Calatinus is Creme Brulee. Now I can smell the creme brulee right through the packaging because I've worn this one several times as well. So creme brulee has coconut, whipped cream, burnt sugar, and vanilla. Now this has a lot of coconut in it, and it smells like the coconut in Coco alla Vanilla from Kais, or like the coconut from Coco Vanille from Mancera. It's that kind of a fleshy, coconut cream or coconut flesh kind of feel. More coconut cream, I would say. So you get that coconut big time and you get the milkiness for sure. Now, as this dries down, so when I first put it on, I get like a lot of that coconut cream. As it warms up on the skin more and more, it becomes almost like a little bit butterscotchy feel. So almost like a coconut butterscotch, if that was possible. So definitely that makes sense, because if you had like a creme brulee, but it would be a coconut creme brulee. So a coconut creme brulee with the burnt sugar on top, that smells like the butterscotch feel. It's just delicious. This is an excellent kind of coconut fragrance, but it is very coconutty to me. So you've got to like coconut, but it does have that brulee butterscotch creaminess to it as well. And especially as it dries down on the skin, the creamy aspect comes up and the coconut kind of comes a little bit more down. So it's a little bit more like a brulee with coconut. At first it's coconut with butterscotch and then it starts to be a little bit more brulee as it goes on. So really enjoy this one. This one is a powerhouse, lasts at least 8 hours on the skin as well. So I love it. Out of this collection, I definitely love PEAR Gelato and Creme Brulee. I would love to pair these two, so that would be great. They would be great layered with any kind of fragrance that you want to kind of creamy sugar up or coconut up. Love both of them. They would smell amazing together. I like these better than the cherry powder, but the cherry powder is good too. And then out of these two, definitely like Smell Like a King, better than Pistachio Haiku. But if you're a Tonka fan, you may like this one. If you like a little bit more spicy, seductive, tobacco-y fragrances with a bit of sweetness, for sure there's sweetness in there. Like I find this mouth-watering. Blah, blah, blah. But this one, the Smell Like a King, definitely is my favorite out of the two of these. What about you? Have you tried any of these new fragrances? If you have, weigh in. I would love to hear. I'm so excited to have all 4 of the full bottles, and my little sample of cherry powder, definitely going to be using that one up. Okay, what about you? Leave it in the comments. Have you tried any of these? What do you think? What do you want to try? I would love to know. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing week. Oh,